The TV series Buffy the Vampire Slayer aired 144 original episodes from March 1997 to May 2003 on two now-defunct TV networks, the WB and UPN, which would ultimately merge to become the CW. That's fitting, because Buffy essentially provided the blueprint for the bulk of what would air on CW and other teen-skewing networks for decades to come. There were teen dramas before Buffy, and there were supernatural dramas before Buffy, but there were no real teen supernatural dramas before this series. While showrunner Joss Whedon's legacy has become complicated, as a series, Buffy still deserves its cemetery flowers. So join us as we go back to the crypt and attempt to unearth the best Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode of all time. Like Mr. Giles, I identify as a watcher. Like Oprah Winfrey, I also identify as a Weight Watcher. I hate vampires, but I love carbs. I'm your host, Eric Rezsnyak. Please help me welcome my chosen ones for this panel. First, much like a vampire, she will not enter your home without an invitation. It's Joelle Boedecker.
And that's all I have in common with vampires, but I do have a vengeance demon potential.
Well, on that note, I have a wish regarding a certain current U.S. president that I would love to have never existed. Can we talk after the show?
That'll be my first order.
Amaze.
Yes. Yeah, I'm on
5 by 5. Next, is that Karissa Kloss? Or is that her evil vampire doppelganger?
I'm so evil and skanky, and I think I'm kind of gay.
It's definitely Karissa then. And finally, if the apocalypse comes, beep her. It's Kate Racculia.
I mock you with my monkey pants.
The monkey is French?
All monkeys are French, don't you know this?
And up in the producer booth, we have Bob Erlenbach, who can't speak because the gentlemen have told him to hush. If you're curious about how we ended up with this Sweet 16, become a Patreon supporter of our little show, or listen to the 3-minute primer or listen to the 3-minute preview available wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget, you can head to this episode on greatpopculturedebate.com to find the listener bracket so you can play along with us at home. While you're there, check out some of our other related episodes, including Best American Horror Story Character, Best Teen Drama Series, and Best TV Series Finale, all available at greatpopculturedebate.com. With that out of the way, let's head to the bronze. Try not to die while listening to late 90s alt-pop darlings and get into these debates. First up, the panel sang in unison to move forward one-seed musical episode Once More with Feeling, meaning that Season 6's Tabula Rasa is being wiped out of our bracket. But Joelle, you wanted to say a few words about Tabula Rasa.
I did, because this is devastating for me. This is one of my favorite episodes, frankly. I think it holds its own, even though it's the episode that's right after Once More with Feeling. It's one of those oops, Willow made a mistake episodes. It is filled with the alternate versions of every character in such adorable ways. They wake up from, their memories being completely erased, and suddenly Spike's name is Randy Giles, and that's all you really need to know about how silly this all gets. Obviously, it's also the beginning of the end of lots of joy from season 6. I don't know if there was that much already. It's when Tara finally confronts Willow. It's when they all kind of finally confront their decision to resurrect Buffy. There's a lot of really interesting dynamics in this episode, different relationships all on display. It's such a good episode, and I'm so angry that it's up against Once More with Feeling, because I think in my heart this would probably beat half the rest of the bracket, if not more.
Joelle pointed out before we started recording, there's a lot of weird kind of coincidences in the matchups, and this is one of them. The two of them right next to each other.
Back-to-back episodes are
so
matched
weird.
up. It's so weird. Happens
Wasn't
multiple
intentional.
times.
Also, in rewatching this episode, there's so many great of the time musical performances, and that episode ends with Michelle Branch doing Goodbye to You live, which is just so perfect.
Honestly, it hit my heart in just the right way on the rewatch. I was like, why is this song touching me?
We will be moving Once More with Feeling into round 2. Next, the panel is evenly split between Season 3's The Wish, a 3-seed, and the series finale, Season 7's Chosen, a 2-seed. Joelle, see if you can go back in time and change our minds as you defend The Wish. Karissa, share your power and your thoughts as you stump for Chosen. Karissa, please go first.
So this is the finale, and we're going right into the very end, and I think this episode has everything. There's the Angel Spike jealousy, we get White Willow, all these characters kind of end in ways that make a lot of sense. There's death, people actually die and disappear. An army of Slayers, Buffy, everybody works together to accomplish this thing that is the biggest thing they've ever accomplished. And the way that it ends with Buffy making it so that all of the potential slayers around the world are empowered. It's so satisfying and it's so striking and it's so feminist, and I just really, really love it. I think it's such a fitting end to everything about it. It's clever, it's empowering, and it just is really enjoyable. And I think it's one of the better season finales or series finales, as we've discussed in other episodes.
Yes,
and I think
very
it
much so.
definitely has to move forward here.
Joelle, talk to us about The Wish and why you think that one should advance.
Yeah, this is another one of those matchups that really, really sucks, because I think Chosen absolutely, even just its existence alone and it not being a terrible finale, made it good. It's a good quality episode. But The Wish is such a memorable moment in the series, and it's the beginning of season 3 when it happens. It's where we meet Anya. It's where Cordelia gets her revenge. It's where we see the first version of an evil Willow, only to be brought back again. And then we see the Dark Willow, and then the White Willow in the finale. Like, this is the beginning of all the cool things for Willow. And truly, this episode, like, it hits every potential thought you may have had watching the series up to that point. Like, what if they didn't have Buffy? They'd all be dead by now. And yeah, turns out they would. And and literally this episode, like, it progresses, and like Cordelia dies in minutes of changing to this world. And
it's so ballsy.
Giles is the hero, and Oz is wielding, crosses. It's wild, and literally everyone dies before Giles has a chance. And then obviously they go back to right before she made the wish, and we love Anya forever after that point. So
we do.
It's such a good episode.
Although she also dies in Chosen brutally and as an afterthought.
Devastating. Although there is a great line at the end when Andrew tells Xander, I'm defending Chosen now, but Andrew tells Xander that she died for him, and he's like, always so stupid, or something like that. She always makes the stupid. That's my girl. And I was like, yeah, that's a real Joss comment, isn't it?
Yes, it really is.
It really
the
is.
Joss mouthpiece speaking through Xander.
Yep.
Kate, but it's so noble of her.
It is.
Yes.
It totally is. And I love Anya, and I hated to see her go that way.
Yeah,
Kate, is it going to be Chosen or is it going to be The Wish?
It's going to be The Wish. Chosen is an excellent series finale. But The Wish is it's a barn burner. And it comes at a time in the series where you're like, you've done some really exceptional things. Hold my beer. It's an excellent episode, and it's got to go through, and I'll say more when it goes through because I am tapped to defend it later.
So if this was a split decision, Chosen actually is the higher seed with a 2 and The Wish is a 3. However, to make things interesting, I'm willing to switch my vote to The Wish. And
That's my wish.
I'll tell you why.
Granted.
I'll tell you why. Chosen, when it first aired, was a highly polarizing finale. People were not happy about it. People did not like the fact that Buffy gave up her power. That's the way it was described at the time. And I was just like, no, I actually think this is very much in line with the concept of this show and its kind of moral compass. And also, when you think about Buffy as a macro thing, it is about how you cannot get through these difficulties in life without people around you. And that is what Buffy does that's different from any other Slayer. She has a community.
Friends.
And she builds an even bigger community in Chosen. I'm sitting here stumping for it, and I'm still giving it to The Wish because it was one of the first big swing episodes, right? It was a real risk, and I'm doing it. So Karissa did a great job defending Chosen, but I am going to move The Wish into round 2. Next, it's another split decision, this time between season 3's Bad Girls, honk honk, beep beep, toot toot, a 4 seed, and the season 5 finale, The Gift, a 1 seed. Kate, give in to your darker impulses as you say where you feel good about Bad Girls. Karissa, please do not sacrifice yourself as you try to save The Gift. Kate, please go first.
This is a season 3 episode. It's written by Douglas Petrie. It is the first Wesley Wyndham-Pryce appearance. He shows up after the evil Watcher is gone. He's the new Watcher. And it's sort of main plot is about Faith and Buffy, who've kind of had like a sort of a contentious relationship. Buffy being like, oh, maybe Faith has a point. Like, I should kind of get off on slaying a little bit, and I should enjoy it, and I can embrace the darkness, and I can embrace this feeling, this intoxicating power of being a slayer. Of course, this all goes pear-shaped. She gets in trouble. They what is it? See, want, take. They break into a sporting goods store, which of course has like crossbows. So and they and they get arrested, and they break out from the cops and all this stuff. But later in the episode, of course, Faith goes too far and kills a human for real. So this is a turning point episode for Faith. It's a turning point episode for Buffy to sort of be like, yes, your power can be intoxicating, but you can take it too far. It's a great It's a great Faith episode. The Buffy and Faith split, and this sets up Faith's partnership with the mayor. It's great.
Awesome. Speaking of important episodes in which people make important choices, The Gift, Karissa Kloss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this episode is kind of a mystery. Buffy is told early on that her gift is death, and she doesn't know what that means. It's the season 5 finale, which was meant to be the series finale, and then it moved networks, and we got 2 more seasons. But you can kind of feel that here because it really does wrap a lot of things up. This is the dawn bloodletting at the top of the tower. Everybody's working together. Willow's doing stuff, and Spike is helping, and Giles kills a human for real. And Buffy won't accept that Dawn has to be sacrificed for things to move forward, and dives into the portal and closes everything up and dies. This ends with her friends at her grave, and we see the inscription, "She saved the world a lot." It's so affecting and it's so beautiful, and what comes after is rough and is meant to be and needs to be, but this episode is so full of compassion and action and everybody working together, and it's just so affecting Buffy realizing her power and what she needs to do, and that's what she always defaults to. I just found it really affecting watching it on the rewatch.
Joelle, is it going to be The Gift, or is it going to be Bad Girls for you?
I'm definitely leaning towards The Gift. Girls is it's the pivotal moment of Buffy and Faith, but I mean, The Gift is more pivotal if we're going to just compare. I remember being completely gut punched, devastated when season 5 ended, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And then we didn't know if it was coming back, and I was, my heart was like completely shattered. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it to The Gift here. I will say this, Bad Girls does have Buffy and Faith at the Bronze dancing and throwing their hair
techno
constantly. Like, it's so funny watching them. Literally, they're just like throwing their hair back and forth. It's hysterical.
Well, you know, in that scene, there's no music, right? And they're just...
And their hair is so flat after doing that for like 20 minutes. It's hysterical. That was the Bad Girl. Where's the Pantene Pro V? But we are going to move forward The Gift into round 2. Next, 3/4 of the panel is Sweet on season 3's Band Candy, a 3 seed. But Joelle prefers the Double Trouble of season 3's Doppelgangland, a 2 seed. Joelle, manifest your vampire tendencies as you fight for Doppelgangland. I will regress as I take a bite out of Band Candy. Joelle, please go first.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Band Candy, you'll all hear about it in a second. Land is the kind of the follow-up, if you will, to the one we just talked about, the Wish, right? We get to return to the evil Willow one more time, but with the comedy of Allison Hannigan playing both characters, observing what the hell the other Willow is doing. It is a wild ride. There's moments of grief when they literally thought Willow is dead and now she's a vampire. There's moments of complete confusion. There is adorable moments where Willow is like winking at Oz and like, oh, okay, we're all good now. The quote that we started the episode with for Karissa, "I'm so evil and skanky, and I think I'm kind of gay." That is the beginning of Gay Willow. We then learn a whole season later when she meets Tara just how gay Willow is. I love it. I just love seeing everything Allison Hannigan can do in this episode, but like everyone's working together as opposed to dying. So it's in a way more fun than The Wish.
Listen, you had me at evil, skanky, and gay. That is definitely my personal aesthetic. However, I argue that Doppelgangland was basically like, hey, Allison wants to have some fun. Let's give her an episode to have some fun. Band Candy is everybody having a blast. So it
So
is both
great.
important. It's so funny. It's both important for the mayor's ascension, right? Like there's stealing of babies for sacrifices, right? There's a magical candy that mentally regresses adults to their teenage selves, and it gives us amazing moments of the regular cast. Giles as the brooding, nihilistic fuckboy. Buffy's mom is hilarious in this episode. Absolutely hilarious. Principal Snyder steals every scene he's in. The rando dudes at the Bronze are fucking amazing. And like, I get why we love Doppelgangland. I really do. But Band Candy has Giles banging Buffy's mom out on the hood of a car and a terrible CGI serpent demon that gets beaten by a gas line. That's what I have to say. Karissa, is it Band Candy or is it Doppelgangland?
As much as I love to say, bored now, it's Band Candy for me because honestly, the thing that tips it is just Giles. Like, regress Giles is iconic for me, and I can't move past it. But this was probably the hardest matchup for me.
Oh, by the way, almost all of these episodes are great. There's one kind of stinkeroo, I think, but almost all of the 16 are great. Kate, is it Doppelgangland or is it going to be Band Candy for you?
It's got to be Band Candy. It's got to be Band. And also, I was like, do we love this episode more now because we're grown? I loved it as a younger
Entirely
person,
possible.
but like, I'm like, this
I
is
think I remember
so
finding
good.
it irritating when I was a kid, actually. So
Agreed.
here we are.
And I know we have to move on, but I'll say this. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is the Don Quixote for Generation X and Millennials. I will get back to that next time, but I honestly
Fantastic.
believe it is like the story of our lives. Moving on, 2 more unanimous decisions from the panel as Season 4's Hush, a 1 seed, silenced the chances of Season 4's Something Blue, a 4 seed, and Season 2 finale Becoming Part 2, a 2 seed, eclipsed its preceding episode Becoming Part 1, a 3 seed. Carissa, you wanted to share your feelings on Something Blue.
Yeah, I was just really delighted by it when I watched it on this rewatch. It's where Willow is heartbroken over Oz and she's drunk and she messes up some spells and it leads to Spike and Buffy, like Spike proposing to her and they're going to get married and they're planning their wedding and Giles goes blind and Xander's constantly being attacked by demons. And then Buffy, this is a Riley episode, and Buffy's like looking at wedding dresses and freaks him out. He's like, what the hell? And then Willow makes it all better at the end with cookies because that's the Willow way. But the Buffy Spike wedding stuff is just so schmaltzy and over the top in the way that they're just fawning all over each other. It's so ridiculous and hilarious, and I was just very charmed by it on the second rewatch. But it's up against Hush, so there's no way.
There's no way. But thank you. Becoming Part 1, Kate Racculia.
Of the two, Becoming Part 2 it's the one that sort of like cashes all the checks that Becoming Part 1 writes. Beautifully, amazingly, incredibly, one of the greatest episodes of Buffy, period. But Becoming Part 1 is the end of the second season, and it kind of gives you, it's about origin stories. You get the origin of Angel and Jealous. You get to see David Boreanaz in Ireland in the 1700s wearing a wig, getting sired by Darla. And then you also get to see how Angel got to Sunnydale and how he got into Buffy's life because Whistler the Demon shows Angel Buffy's origin, which is also sort of a rewrite of the movie. You get to see Buffy's original Watcher, who is a classic character actor, I can't think of his name right now, comes up to her on the steps of her previous LA high school and is like, you alone, must fight the demons and stand against the vampires. And because you meet this Buffy sort of in media res, like you don't see her origin, so it's really moving to have that. It's also, at the end of it, Drusilla kills Kendra, the second Slayer, which means that that's how we get Faith eventually. It's it sets up the heartbreak of the end of season 2.
Yeah, and I love that it's like a stone statue from Pier 4 is like the big bad of the season.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Joelle, you want to say one thing?
There's just one small thing that came out of Part 1, and that's Mr. Point D.
Yes,
Kendra
Mr.
gifts
Point D.
Mr. Point D to Buffy, and then we have Mr. Point D.
Yep, which is, I also have a Mr. Pointy, and it also has impaled many men in its life, so I'm a fan.
You named your steak?
Yeah. All right, next, the majority of the panel remains moved by Season 5's The Body, a 1 seed, but Kate is feeling more festive and wants to keep partying with Season 3's The Prom, a 4 seed. Kate, tell us why you want to keep The Prom on your dance card. I will argue why I would grieve The Body being removed so early from this bracket. Kate, please go first.
The Body is an excellent episode of television. The Prom is a better episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And here's my argument. Or I'll just give a brief, synopsis. So it's before the 2-part finale of season 3. I used to do this thing when I was working a job in finance that I really hated and stressed out about, where every Sunday night I needed to watch something to like get my feelings out, to make myself cry. So I would watch The Shawshank Redemption, or I would watch Buffy's The Prom. And it always works, and it still works when I watch this episode. So it's the prom, and everyone is excited about getting dresses, and Buffy's excited about Angel asking her, and it's a moment where reality really starts to intrude on high school, and they know that like they can't work because Angel is 200 years too old for her, and also they can never do the thing because he would kill all of her friends again. Or just like not even just like have sexual relations. They can't be happy because they just can't be. So they break up, and it is absolutely devastating. But Buffy, this is the beginning of her kind of like, sometimes she kind of, trends into martyrdom, but like her realizing like, no, I want my friends to have this classic high school experience. We know that people are training devil dogs, hell beasts to come to the prom. And I'm going to stop them, and you're going to have a great prom. And that is exactly what happens. Even though she and Angel are broken up, like she goes eventually to the prom. And out of the blue, Jonathan gives Buffy, after they do the senior superlatives, whatever, gives Buffy a little umbrella that says class protector, because we're proud to say that the class of 1999 has the lowest mortality rate of any graduating class in Sunnydale history. And it is so moving. It also has the great sort of line where Wesley is hot for Cordelia, and Giles tells him she's 18 and you have the maturity of a blueberry scone, which is like a great. So, but I think Buffy is transcendent when you have the high school drama, high school genre beats up against the supernatural horror beats, and you have the specificity of the characters and the ensemble performance working together, reinforcing each other, making something that is about itself, but also about high school movies, about high school, about outsiders being seen, about wonderful things being ruined by outside terrible forces, and people recognizing that together they can still have a magical moment. It's so beautiful. And then Buffy and Angel break up. It is a great episode of Buffy. The Body is great. It is not this.
Amazing argument. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mic drop. Karissa Kloss, did she sway you?
Almost. And I think the quibble here is the best episode and best Buffy episode, but The Body is transcendent. The class protector bit gets me every time.
Every time.
It is great.
Every time.
I'm still with The Body here.
Yeah, Buffy Summers walked so Katie Heron could run. Joelle Boedecker, did she sway you, or are you sticking with The Body?
I'm sticking with The Body. Everything you said, Kate, is absolutely accurate. And in other matchups, the prom exceeds everything. But The Body is, one of my rubrics is memorable episodes. And while that one scene of the prom is memorable, the entirety of The Body, just the no music moments, like it's, we'll get into it, but that's more important in my brain.
I'm going to stick with the 2, and I have a defense for it, but we'll talk about that in round 2. So we will be moving The Body on. Finally, one more unanimous decision by the panel in round 1, which is moving forward season 3 finale Graduation Day Part 2, a 3-seed, meaning season 1 finale Prophecy Girl, a 2-seed, has been drowned out of our bracket. I do just want to acknowledge briefly, Prophecy Girl, we wouldn't have Graduation Day Part 2 had Prophecy Girl not done the job exceedingly well. It was the first big bad. It was the first, everything is built up to this. Can they do it? It also really gave us a wonderful moment of this young woman grappling with the fact, I am about to die. And I am 16 years old, and this is deeply fucked up. There was something very human about that. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, who we haven't talked about her enough on this.
She's so good.
Incredible from start to finish. This is a great episode for her. But I do agree the Graduation Day is the better option. So we will be moving it forward into round 2. And that's the end of round 1, folks. We're going to take a quick break to save Dawn. Must be Tuesday. We'll be right back. And we're back with round 2 of our best Buffy episode debate. Before we get into the Elite 8, I want our panelists to share their social media accounts, what else they're working on, and what role they would play in a Scooby Gang. Joelle, I would like to start with you.
Don't worry about socials. I don't do that stuff anymore.
Uh,
I'm off the socials. No, I
uh-huh.
still
for you.
exist. I just don't interact.
What role would you play in a Scooby Gang?
Well, I think everyone will be best served if I don't try to do anything athletic. I would probably stay digital. My thought was I might spearhead Giles's digitization project because that's a much needed effort so it doesn't burn to the ground repeatedly.
Repeatedly, yeah. Think of all the lost texts. Great point. Excellent. Karissa Kloss, where can people find you? What are you doing? And what role would you play in a Scooby Gang?
You can find me on Instagram at Karissa Kloss, but you can actually really find me on our Discord if you are a Patreon supporter. We talk there a lot about lots of fun things and some of the not so fun things happening in the world these days, but it is a sweet little corner. And if I were part of the Scooby Gang, my day job is a lot of like project management, so I think I could bring that to them, but also like supply stuff. So I would be really great at managing inventory levels. There would be a constantly stocked closet of spikes. Like this would be happening. Steaks.
Yeah,
Steaks.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I love
Would there
it.
be a checkout system?
Oh,
Like,
I would
you
be,
can't
you
take
know,
a spike without, or
right?
yeah.
Like I would just, there would be some kind of system I would institute. I mean, I try and work with designers. And so if I can herd some of them, I'm sure I could get some high schoolers to check out their steaks.
Lesbian efficiency will stop the
Listen,
apocalypse.
we will save the world. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Excellent. Kate Racculia, where can people find you? What are you working on? And what role would you play in the Scooby Gang?
Nominally, I'm on Instagram at Gomez Rack. I'm writing a book. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm writing another book. It's happening. That's
Yay.
pretty cool.
I love it.
In a Scooby Gang, I kind of I sort of thread the needle between a Xander and a Willow, where like I have the like book learning and research skills, specifically on the internet in my day job, and I have the sort of like quippiness of a Xander, but not with the self-loathing. Thankfully, I feel good about that. But I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? In a Scooby Gang, I'd like to be some kind of a supernatural being, and I think I could be a werecat. I think I could turn into like a little
yeah.
like mascot cat.
I'm into that.
Yeah,
That'd
who
be
would sort of like
perfect.
if you had been in a bad fight with a vamp and needed to come back and just kind of sit with something and let it purr on you, I could do that.
I
I
like
could
that.
do
Kind of
that.
like Oz, basically.
Yes,
You'd be
yes.
in Oz. Yes.
It's like, hey, is Jordy a werewolf? Oh, okay.
Yep. Perfect. I
Yep.
love that for you. Excellent. The best place to follow us is on Blue Sky at gpcd.bsky.social or at gpcd on Mastodon. We are also on Instagram at Great Pop Culture Debate because we can't escape it. You should also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page where we're posting more original video content. But what you really need to do right now is to sign up for our weekly newsletter, new every Tuesday at noon. It tells you about everything coming out in pop culture that week. Sign up by finding the link on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com or via our link tree or on any of our social media accounts. I would want to be the spellcaster wolf. Fun fact, my great-grandfather was allegedly a warlock. That is true. And honestly, I would love to bring some of that dark arts into my everyday life. And
Eric,
if I happen
this
to go ultimate evil, I'm into it.
This is huge. This is
Yep.
huge.
Yep. You better get into it. There's a
How
whole
have
story.
we not known this?
I
until
know.
Now? We did a
I
whole
don't talk
witch
about him
episode,
a lot,
Eric.
but yeah, allegedly that was true. He also apparently was the spitting image of Adolf Hitler. I am also not happy about that. But great times in the Rezsnyak household. So, with that being said, we are going to move into round 2 so we can share some band candy and Taster's Choice coffee with Mr. Giles. First up, in a battle of demonic hijinks, the bulk of the panel continues to sing the praises of the season 6 musical episode Once More with Feeling, a 1 seed. But Kate is attempting to change the reality of the situation by pushing for season 3's The Wish, a 3 seed. Kate, I have run out of puns regarding The Wish, so go for it. Karissa, tell us why Once More with Feeling remains a high note for the series. Kate, please go first.
I'm not going to win this one, and that's totally fine. I watched both of these episodes again. Once More with Feeling is a watershed moment. It is so smart. It is so well done. It is a perfect musical, right? Because they are singing about their feelings. That's how musicals work, right? Like I feel like there are a lot of musicals that don't understand that.
Yep.
The action and the plot is not great. It's the drama of everything that is revealed about that Buffy was in hell and her friends brought her back into a world of suffering. But the sort of like mechanic that like, oh, Dawn brought this musical demon and actually it was Xander, who cares, doesn't matter. But like, and Tara's song is a great song. I'm under your spell, and the way that it sort of repeats again. Like now I'm arguing for like this other.
I was going to point out, by the way, you're arguing for the
great.
opposite
Keep
one.
going, Kate.
It's a great episode.
I forgot what you were stumping for.
But it's so this comes down to preference. The Wish guts me, and The Wish sort of has. It's like we said before, it's the first like big swing episode that imagines like the ramifications of what would be a different world without Buffy, of what Buffy really, what her power really is about, and what she has done to change the world and save the world, which is what the show is about, right? Like, and it's just like it's a gut punch in a way, and it's very dark, but also very smart and very interesting. It introduces Anya and all this other stuff that like will play out for the rest of the season. I like that episode better. I will watch The Wish again and again and again. I can't watch Once More with Feeling as much.
Really? Oh my God, I've watched that episode so many times.
Yeah,
that being said, we actually haven't talked about Once More with Feeling yet.
Yeah, I mean, I started to. Sorry.
You did.
Yeah,
Karissa,
thanks.
has she swayed you at all? Has she swayed you?
No, and I think everything she said is a good jumping off point for talking about this, but I think we will probably talk about Once More with Feeling a bit more.
Joelle, are you going to stick with Once More?
Yeah. They already talked about The Wish in the first round. I fully love it and respect it, but Once More with Feeling just supersedes it for me.
Yeah. This is my verse. Hello. I'm going to go ahead and push Once More with Feeling into the final four. Next up, the panel is split between 3-seed Band Candy from season 3 and 1-seed The Gift from season 5. I had no idea where this was going to go. I'm just going to start and go around the horn. Joelle, is it The Gift or is it going to be Band Candy for you?
Because I want to throw a bone to Jane Espenson and not Joss Whedon, I'm going with Band Candy.
Oh, okay. Kate Racculia, is it going to be The Gift or is it going to be Band Candy for you?
Giles and Buffy's mom on the hood of a cop car.
Yeah.
It's Band Candy, man.
I don't even think Chapel Rowan had been born when this came out, but like
No, probably not.
1998, I think you're right. Yeah.
in my head, I just like eating you out in the passenger seat. Like that's all where I'm going.
And the moment at the end when Buffy's like, "At least I found you before you did anything,"
And they're just like,
are like, so good.
Karissa, is it Band Candy or is it The Gift?
Band Candy's really fun, but The Gift is so affecting, and Buffy saved the world a lot. So I'm with The Gift here still.
I'm also with The Gift here, and I will say this: I love Band Candy. It's a frothy little ditty, but I think The Gift is kind of Buffy firing on all cylinders. The vertical battle sequence between Buffy and Glory is awesome. It goes on for like a solid 5+ minutes with these two women beating the shit out of one another. And it's great. She's got a hammer for some odd reason, and it kind of works for a minute, but then it doesn't. Everybody has a role to play. Like the Scoobies, like Willow fucks up Glory with some weird magic thing. Doesn't Xander drive some type of piece of equipment into the group? I don't even remember. Giles kills Ben, right? Am I wrong
Yeah,
about this?
sure does.
Yeah, after
Yep.
Buffy after Glory reverts to him and Buffy says, "I'm not going to do this," and then Giles comes through and says like, "I am."
Yeah.
Dawn is Dawn, and that's fine. Like, she is a plot device that becomes a character ostensibly. I do think it is weird that like Joel Grey plays a character in that one, and I think he has a couple appearances before this.
Yeah.
Is that character ever followed up on?
Oh,
After
like is that the weird guy that
The
like
weird dude.
he showed up throughout the season, but that's it. We never saw him again, I don't think.
Because like he's the one who actually slices Dawn open and starts the ritual, right? It's not Glory. So that's kind of a dropped ball. But I do think it is a great like action sequence. There's some very dodgy CGI when the hell portal starts to open up and there's dragons and alien hives. Very dodgy.
2001.
Listen, it was of a time.
We weren't there.
Place.
MySpace, baby. But like, listen, it is a very good episode. But Kate and Joelle, you're sticking with Band Candy here?
I am.
I just want to say one more thing about Band Candy before we wrap this up, and that is imagine that they were teenagers when they met. Buffy really could be the child of Giles and Joyce, and that's the thought I had while rewatching that episode.
Is very
I was
true.
like, oh, That would be so much cooler than her deadbeat dad. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Good point. So it's split decision, and the gift is actually the 1 seed. So it is going to go ahead in this particular matchup. Next, the panel is unanimous in its decision to move forward Season 4's Hush, a 1 seed, into the Final Four, which meant that Season 2 finale Becoming Part 2 has been banished to a hell portal, a.k.a. any Dunkin' Donuts location in the continental United States. But we haven't really discussed Hush yet, and I do want to at least start to voice some opinions on this one. Hush is the scariest episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, without question, period.
Hands down.
It is so affecting, even now, 20 plus years after it actually aired. Rewatching it for this, the filming in it is inspired by silent film, and there are moments that gave me jumps even now. You have the gentlemen are spectacular monsters of the week, kind of steeped. Doug Jones, now a legend in the industry, was one of the gentlemen here. The physicality of it's inspired by Grimm's fairy tales. The whole thing is so good. It's kind of a little bit of a, like, let me put it this way. I'm going to recast this. Season 4 is not great, right? But this episode is set in Season 4, and it even aggressively deals with the Riley problem, right? And it's still successful, even in the face of Riley and his total abject lameness. That's the power of Hush. And I could keep going on and on and on about it, but I don't think I need to. We are unanimously moving it forward, so we'll talk more about that in the Final Four. Finally, in round 2, it's 2 benchmarks of adulthood, traumatic in wildly different ways. First, there's Season 5's The Body, a 1 seed in which Buffy must reconcile with the sudden death of her mother. And the second is the Season 3 finale, Graduation Day Part 2, in which the Scoobies leave the relative safety of high school behind and avoid getting eaten by a giant serpent demon thing, as we all must do. Karissa, please talk to us about how you continue to come to terms with The Body. Joelle, give us the pros of Graduation Day and its ultimate big bad, mediocre white men abusing their elected office. Joelle, please go first.
It does hit. It does hit.
Yeah.
Honestly, the mayor was the beginning of the end for all of us, frankly.
Yep.
I also love, by the way, I'm sure he had a name, but like in everything I read, they only call him the mayor, and I think that's delightful. At the end of this episode, we see the mayor turn into this giant, awesome, weird dragon snake monster that slithers through the school, and then they blow him up, and that's like the coolest thing. And I'm skipping ahead to the end because that's like such a memorable scene because they demolish the school. But there's so many memorable scenes, like just the way that they plan ahead for this. They know it's coming, so they tell the whole school, hey, by the way, you sensed it? All that shit's real, and we're going to need you to be prepared. So here's a bunch of weapons, and we're going to battle at graduation. Get ready. The coolest moment when they like unleash, go under their gowns and pull out all these weapons. Chills. I watched it again. The same chills I had in 1999. Had them all over again. It's an epic episode. I think it's one of the very best finales, if not the best finale of the series. And that is up against The Gift, and that is up against shows like there's a lot of good finales and a lot of bad ones too. I think this is the best for me, and I could go on, but I'm going to pause here.
Yeah, I think those are great arguments. I'd love to hear from Karissa about The Body.
Yeah, this one, when I was thinking about what episodes are going to be in this bracket before we even got there, it was 3 of the ones that are in this Final Four. The Body was one that immediately came to the top of my head. And rewatching it, I was just so affected. There is some supernatural stuff, but it's not until the very end. The scary part about this episode is that it is real life. It is reality. And it is how do you deal with sudden crisis and trauma. And everybody deals in a very different way. Anya doesn't understand it. She asks all the wrong things. That upsets everybody, which upsets her even more. Willow gets so obsessed with the minutia of what can she wear, how to be. No one knows how to be or what to do. And they all interact with that in different ways. I was struck by the way that the word The Body is used throughout the episode. When Buffy first refers to her mother as The Body, happens after the paramedics and all of that. That's really, you can tell that affects her deeply. When Dawn is in art class, they pull her out of art class and she's drawing a body. They're drawing the shape around it. And then we don't hear what Buffy tells her, but we see it through the classroom window. Like, having watching this a while ago and then watching this like a couple of weeks ago as an adult who's since been through trauma and, grief and numbness and how affecting that all is, I was just really moved by how authentic all of that feels in this episode. It felt really real. It pulled me into that space. And, when you're not a teenager, you probably know that space that it brings you back to. And it is so respectfully done. So it has to move forward for me.
Kate, is it going to be The Body or is it going to be Graduation Day Part 2 for you? Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay. So I think Graduation Day Part 2 is among the best finales, if not the best finale. I agree with you completely. There's a lot of it that I love. But you made a point in the last round, Kate, that Buffy works best when it is juxtaposing high school and high school problems with the supernatural.
Yes.
The thing I realized as an adult watching Buffy, and the reason I didn't like seasons 4, 5, 6, and 7 when they were originally airing, was it was moving past high school and telling you how much adulthood sucks and real life sucks and it's terrible. And The Body is showing what young adults have to go through. It really rocked me watching it the second time. It's not perfect. We did not need the vampire stuff at the end of the episode. I suspect that the CW made them put it in.
Yep.
Or WB, whatever. But we haven't talked about how amazing Sarah Michelle Gellar is in this episode. We haven't talked about Christine Sutherland, who's incredible as her mother. The acting in this is so good. That being said, Kate, I want to give it back to you for an answer.
You didn't say. Oh, so you're saying The Body. So
I'm saying The Body.
Yeah, it almost feels like there are two separate shows, right? And it's sort of like, because it has the genre conventions, it has those stronger arcs in the first 3 seasons. And that to me, they feel more complete. And if you look at seasons 4 through 7 as something messier about life after high school, like that's like a separate project in some ways. And just as good, just in a different way, not just as good, with moments of absolute brilliance that is not, it's sort of like the brilliance is spread out over the arcs in the first 3 seasons. Like, I don't know, I'm making a complicated point, which is my way of saying I feel like you've convinced me about The Body, Karissa.
Can I?
And I'm just being stubborn.
That's okay. Joelle.
I know we have to wrap, but I just want to. So I'm looking at what's left in the bracket, and all of them are post season 3, and the graduation represents all of the first 3 seasons, because
I'm back to graduation.
We're bringing back characters where like everyone's saying goodbye. They destroy the fucking school. Like there's something about graduation that is so important to the series. The Body, don't get me wrong, like it's wretched, and I recently rewatched it and it broke me all over again. Like I get it, but the graduation day, I think, is more.
So we have 2 on Graduation Day and we have 2 on The Body, and The Body is actually the higher seed. So I'm sorry, folks. I know we hate it when seeds make the decision, but that's what's going to happen. With that, we have our final 4. We're going to take a quick break to make a wish with Anya. We'll be right back after these ads. And we're back for the final 4 of our best Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode debate. At this point in the show, I take a step back to see if it shook out the way I expected it to. I also like to add at this point that no matter which option wins, we're celebrating all of these entries, and I hope nobody gets salty about what comes next. I actually did expect this to come out this way. Once more with Feeling versus The Gift, Hush versus The Body. I think these are the 4 tentpole episodes of this series, which, as was pointed out in the previous round, very weird that all 4 of these are post season 3, which everyone considers to be the golden age of Buffy. But I do think we've mentioned this before. 4 and 6 in particular are shit seasons that have absolute moments of brilliance, and that's what you're seeing here with Hush. The Body is 5. The Gift is also 5.
Yep.
And then Once More with Feeling is 6.
The Body is 4. She's in college. It's the first year in
No,
college,
The Body's
right?
5.
Is it 5?
It's 5 because Dawn's there, and in fact,
you're right.
There is the question of whether or not Dawn being present is what caused her tumor to begin with, because like, is that a shock to the system or whatever?
Yeah, that's right.
What?
Yeah, which is an interesting concept. But
so
yes, Kate.
I feel like we're seeing some just sort of like bias in the fact that it's like episode, right? And like Buffy's strength is in its episodic nature, I think.
Yeah.
There's also something that's happening. Television starts to change, partially because of Buffy, around 1999, 2000. 1999 is when The Sopranos comes out. All of these episodes, like an episode of TV like The Body would not have been written
No.
for any TV show.
No.
Maybe ER 4 years
Right.
earlier, right?
Yep.
So I think, and those episodes, they're short stories, right? You can say that one was incredible. So I think my sort of like stick in the mud arguments are like, what's the best Buffy episode? Like if I was
Yeah.
going to say this encapsulates everything that is transcendent about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And The Body is a great episode of television. It touches some of the themes of Buffy, some of the big ones, but not all of them. And all of these, I think, touch some of them. And all of them together, I think, touch all of them.
Yeah.
But like an episode like The Wish touches all of them in a smaller way.
In a smaller way. So
Yeah.
let's get into these
Anyway,
actual debates.
Sorry, I just like hit my microphone. I was so passionate.
Very passionate about
She's
this.
so passionate
Yeah.
about this.
And I agree,
Okay.
by the way.
But let's go. It's Once More with Feeling versus The Gift. I would like to start in the back of the pack with Kate, actually. Once More, The Gift.
Once more in this time.
Karissa, is it going to be Once More with Feeling or is it going to be The Gift?
I'm going with Once More here.
Joelle, is it Once More with Feeling or is it The Gift?
It's Once More with Feeling. Incidentally, these episodes are 7 apart. Like, that's it. That's it. 7 episodes from the previous.
That's
Wow.
fascinating.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm also going to give it to Once More with Feeling, and we have almost not talked about this one at all, right? Like this was a huge, big swing. I think all of these episodes are big swings, and
Yes.
like the
They're
gift
all
kill-
handstands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
Mhm.
gift kills off the main character. Hush is a silent episode, essentially. The Body is completely divorced in many ways tonally from the rest of the series. Once
Mhm.
More with Feeling is, I still think 20 years later, the best musical episode of a TV series
yeah.
that wasn't a musical episode.
Absolutely.
Mhm. There wasn't a musical TV
I,
show.
I
Yeah.
went through a list of every musical television show, like episode, not shows that were musicals and not
Yep.
Glee, but I literally found a list and I was going through it and I was like, nothing is better than What's More with Feeling.
Nothing,
It is
nothing.
just superior. The writing, the music, the dancing, the performances, the undertones, the jokes, like everything. They did it right. Kate, you were saying,
Mhm.
like the fact that they actually used the songs to
To-
express these
Yep.
feelings that they weren't ready to speak about yet, and then they speak about it in the next episode in actuality. Like,
Yep. That is
brilliant.
How a musical works.
And
Yep.
and the songs are so like, I'm Under Your Spell. It's
Mhm.
literally a lesbian sex song, and that's great.
Yep.
But then it's also she's literally under your
Under her
spell.
spell.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So good.
Has any hour of television done more for levitating cunnilingus than Once More with Feeling?
It has not.
No.
It has
Well,
And
yeah,
not
it has
talked
not.
about the L word, but
I know, but there's no levitating cunnilingus there, is there? Chris is like, let me check in with you on that later. But I mean, it could have all gone so wrong because most of these people are not singers, and they did not really do a lot. I mean, maybe some for Sarah Michelle Gellar, but she's
Yeah.
still like,
Mhm.
but like,
She can carry tune. It's just not very strong. So they
Yeah.
gave
Right.
her something.
Yeah.
Some oomph.
Hannigan is clearly sidelined, and like
I
Tara,
think this line's
by her
mostly
request.
filler.
in adorable ways. Like she just
Yes.
does a couple little talk-sing lines, and you're like, "That's okay. That's okay."
Yep.
Tara's holding it down for the rest of us.
And so is Tony Head. Just
Yep.
like
yes, yeah,
Totally.
Giles, yeah, absolutely.
absolutely. So we will be moving once more into the final two. Hush versus The Body. I'd like to start with Joelle. Where are you on this one?
I'm with Hush. I think The Body is too far out of like the norm for me, and Hush still feels like a Buffy episode. It's just wildly ambitious and experimental. The Body is literally what happens when your grief, the world shuts down around you and you stop making sense. Like Hush feels like it fits like with the whole series better. So I'm going with Hush.
Karissa, is it going to be The Body or Hush?
yeah, I agree with Joelle. I'm going with Hush because it goes back to the monster of the week and, the
Mhm.
Scooby's doing stuff, but it elevates it in a way that we don't really see with other ones like that. And The Body, I think, is an excellent hour of television, but it kind of, when push comes to shove, is it Buffy television more than Hush is Buffy television? And I don't
Yeah.
think it is. So
if you
Hush for
if you
me.
just watched Hush and you were like, what is Buffy from that episode? If that was the
Yeah.
only one you saw.
Yeah.
I am also choosing Hush. And I don't know if this is apocryphal or not, but I feel like I remember reading that someone was like, "Oh, Joss, your dialogue is so good." And he was like, "I'll show them and I'll write an
Yeah.
episode with no dialogue."
That is true.
Yeah.
It says that in Wikipedia. Whether
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. Which
No, but
yeah.
I think he says that in like the DVD commentary.
Yeah,
like
I
that
think he
is
does.
exactly why. And he was terrified that it was going to flop because he's like,
Mm.
and he realized that his dialogue was his crutch.
Right.
So yeah. So Kate, you're going with Hush as well.
I'm going with Hush. Yeah, for all those reasons that we just talked about.
Clean sweep. So we have clean sweeps Once More with Feeling versus Hush as our final two. I do think this is the absolute correct final two. I'm going to start smack in the middle. Karissa, is it Once More with Feeling or is it Hush?
This is hard because I think both of these are quintessentially Buffy, but in different ways. But I think Once More with Feeling is the longest episode in the whole series. It's got 8 more minutes than anything else. And the songs are good as standalone things, but also the character development, the what it reveals about everybody is so wonderful. And also there's that hilarious, like, the cops taking accident arias or whatever, like because everybody's singing, not just, our group of Scoobies. But yeah, Once More with Feeling is so memorable and so good. And yeah, that's going to be my win. This is hard though, but that's my choice.
It is hard. BT Dubs, when I watched it again, I noticed that they cut out the "by the way, I'm not wearing underwear" line. I did not see it in the version that I watched on rewatch, and I wondered if that was deliberate. So check it out on Hulu, see if you have the same experience.
Where was that line? That
It
you
was
remember?
during the cop aria where she's like, "I swear that meter wasn't there."
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
She's
I'm
trying
not
to
wearing
flirt her way out,
underwear.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they cut out that last part of it. Yeah, I really do.
Interesting.
Joelle, is it going to be Once More with Feeling or is it going to be Hush?
We haven't talked that much about Hush yet. I'm wondering if I can take this
Please.
moment.
Yep.
So you gave the high level, like the Doug Jones of it all. The gentlemen are one of the creepiest, and there are some gross demons in this series. But the smile, the Slender Man style of that they have, the floating, the thing, I don't know, the banshee dude they drag around. I don't know what he is.
Yep.
It is it's creepy imagery that will actually haunt you. It's like a proper horror episode of Buffy. And the fact that there's no talking, they get to use every character's other skill, which is still that they are acting in this very terrifying episode. The funny scenes when they're trying to like plan and they have the whiteboards and Giles' whole fucking slide projector and Buffy doesn't like her hair and Xander keeps misunderstanding everything for boobs and other appendages. Like, it is silly at the right moment and terrifying at the others. And it's the first moment Willow and Tara like touch hands to make magic work better. It's so good. And I can't believe I'm going here, as much as I love Once More with Feeling, because I could listen to the soundtrack like every day of the week and not be bored. I think Hush is the superior experimental episode. Maybe I will get fired for this. I don't know.
You will not be fired, I promise. As an honorary gentleman, I might carve out your heart, however.
Yeah, that's fair. I deserve it.
Kate, is it going to be Hush or is it going to be Once More with Feeling?
You will just get support, Joelle, because I am also voting for Hush, because it is horror, right? Like, and Once More with Feeling is a tremendous experiment. It's sort of existential horror because of the emotions that they're revealing, right? But it's
the
not
heart songs of it all.
Heart songs, right? It's not a monster of the week, right? Which is sort of Buffy's bread and butter, and an absolutely spectacular elevated version of that is in that sort of early aughts. TV can do this. It's spectacular, and I would feel very happy if the prom can't be the #1 episode, which it obviously is. Justice for the prom. It should be Hush.
I'll give you your little umbrella as the protector of the prom, Kate. But
I'm the protector of the prom episode, yes.
Yep. So I will push back. Once More with Feeling does have a monster of the week. There is the dancing demon.
Yeah,
who is
his
doing
name
this.
is
He's lame.
His name is Sweet,
He's
and
lame.
he does a beautiful tap dance, soft
He
shoe,
does.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
But his name is Sweet. I'm just that's it.
I know. I had to correct that.
By the way, there's one other correction I wanted to make about earlier, Kate, you had said Buffy was in heaven, not in hell. That was the whole thing. They realized they took her out of heaven.
Took her out of heaven. Yeah. I totally got
before
that
Bruno
backwards.
Mars did. Anyway.
Good point. So I hear the arguments. I do think there's a strong one to be made for, at the end of the day, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a horror show. It would be weird to have an episode that is not really horror be the one, even though it's ambitious. These are both very ambitious episodes of this show. Way more ambitious than any other teen show I can think think of then, now, or for whatever, right?
Mhm.
We haven't given this show the proper due, which is they didn't have to go this fucking hard. They could have just done like CW did seasons and seasons of piece of shit supernatural shows, and they were fine and people watched them. Buffy was like, no, I'm going to show you what I can do. And God damn it, they did. And these 2 episodes are both excellent. I will give it to Hush as well because I think it is so scary, so good. It like I agree. If you had to show one of these episodes to someone and say this is Buffy the
Mhm.
Vampire Slayer,
Ah.
they would watch once more with feeling and say, I don't understand. If you show them Hush, they're gonna get it. And
Mhm.
I say that, and it's fucking Riley. It's Riley. It's
But,
so
like,
good that
barely.
it supersedes Riley.
It's actually the
right?
best Riley moment of the series.
is,
because
sure.
it's that moment
Uh-huh.
when they catch each other with the guns in their faces. Like,
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So there you have it, folks. Our pick for the best Buffy episode is Hush. Do you agree? Do you think we should hush? Tell us how you really feel by leaving a comment on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com or find us on Blue Sky or Mastodon or Instagram. While you're there, make sure you subscribe and follow the podcast so you can hear about what new debates are coming soon, vote in open polls, and even decide which topics we tackle next. I want to say thank you to my panel. You queens all slay. And thank you for listening. If you loved what you heard, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where you can get even more exclusive content and you get episodes a whole day early. We hope you have a good one. And remember, everyone is entitled to their wrong opinion.
Grr.
Grr.
arg.
Arg.